Hey everyone, Dave here, and I am trying to milk as much out of Blip as I can while I still can. So I'm not quite doing vlog every day in June, but I'm doing vlog many days in June. If you're watching this on YouTube and it's not September yet, please do me a favor and watch this on Blip or on Doggins.com or on GeekVision. So basically to come up with as much content as I can as quickly as I can before Maker Studios cuts me off for good, what I'm going to do is talk about some movies I've seen in the past year. Because, I used to vlog about movies occasionally, but I realized the last movies I vlogged about were last June, when I vlogged about This Is the End with Some Jerk with a Camera and The Wire, and then when I vlogged about Joss Whedon's Much Ado with my sister. So, here I present a mini-series entitled Dave Finally Talks About Movies. First up, Dave finally talks about The World's End.
The World's End.
Well, since one of the last movies I vlogged about was the big American apocalyptic comedy, it only seems right to vlog about the big British apocalyptic comedy. Now, I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. Spaced is one of my favorite shows. I love Shaun of the Dead. I think Hot Fuzz is a perfect movie. I just love basically everything Edgar Wright touches, so I knew I had to see The World's End as soon as I could when it came out. And just as I predicted, the movie was this amazing, intricate, hilarious work of art. It might be the most ambitious, most important, greatest accomplishment of the Cornetto trilogy. It also might be my least favorite entry in the Cornetto trilogy. But that's not a slight against this one, it's just a reflection of how much I love the previous two entries. I have a few friends who aren't that big of fans of Hot Fuzz, and one of their reasonings is that they think Hot Fuzz isn't really about anything other than movies are cool and real life's not like them. And whether or not that's true of Hot Fuzz, it's definitely not true of The World's End. This movie is about a lot of things. It's about a midlife crisis. It's about nostalgia. It's about addiction. It's about running out of hope. It's about the good and the bad of technology. It's about the good and the bad of the Starbucks model. It's about the good and the bad of the independent mom and pop model. It's about change. It's about stasis. It's about being replaced by someone younger and better. It's about the inability to go home again. It's about all these things and so many more things. And a lot of these are themes that really do resonate with me, but it was a lot to take in on the first viewing. And I left the theater shaken, almost a little unsettled, and I was still sort of piecing the experience together in my head long after I saw it. And although I enjoy the film more and more on every subsequent viewing, and I really do think the film works as a whole, I still don't quite know what to make of the ending. Not that I can think of any ending that would be better or more appropriate or more satisfying. After all, it was a lot of themes to wrap up. Now, maybe some of those themes I mentioned were themes that came up just as byproducts and not what Simon and Edgar were trying to explore, but I know at least a few of those themes are intentional, because even if, for reasons I can't fathom, you don't like Edgar Wright, you cannot call him lazy. He is a very deliberate filmmaker. Everything you see on the screen, everything you hear in the dialogue, it's all intentional. And maybe our interpretations of some of his things aren't what he intended, but it's no accident that almost every line of dialogue has at least two meanings and comes up multiple times in multiple different contexts. Or that a villain in this movie is played by an actor famous for being the younger version of the villain in the previous movie. Or that there are things that are repeated in all three movies and also things that are different in all three movies. There are expectations and subversions. All of that is just the master craftswork of a perfectionist director who knows exactly what he's trying to put on the screen. Now, time will tell how I eventually end up ranking The World's End in the Cornetto trilogy, but so far it's aged well, and really how I rank it is unimportant. What's important, for me anyway, is that a film not only made me laugh for 2 hours, but it deeply affected me in a way that it took me a year to figure out how to articulate, and frankly, I'm still not sure I'm articulating it well, but it affected me, and it stuck with me, and that is just one of many reasons that Edgar Wright is my favorite director. Also, the look on Martin Freeman's face in this shot may be the funniest thing I've ever seen in history. I'm glad his roles got progressively larger over the course of the trilogy.